Hello there, lovely people. This is me, Ashley, here, sending my love to you from whatever reality I'm in today to whatever reality you find yourself in. Well, this is. Why do I always start off with well? This is a culmination, really, of the things that I have learned since first realising that what I was experiencing was the Mandela Effect. I personally believe that it's a supernatural thing that's happening. I don't think it's man-made. I believe it's supernatural, and this is why. I'm going to explain why. Those of you who have seen my recent videos will know what a spiritual battle I've been going through. As a backsliding born-again Christian, I was finding it all really quite troublesome. One of the main reasons is because I left the church when I was 18. A totally messed up individual, quite frankly. The church did not do me any favours, and for many, many years cutting a long story short, for the best part of 40 years, I distanced myself from Christianity, and although I still believed in one God, I distanced myself from God too. The Mandela Effect and the Bible changes are something that I think most of us that are Mandela affected, I think it makes us realise that we've been created, because we're certainly not what we've been told we are. I've always believed that this was a shell, now called a meat suit, and that I was inside of here somehow. I always believed that. I've had profound dreams since being very small. Since before I could actually talk. Things about the sky. Seeing planets that weren't there. For many, many years I saw what I thought was the moon getting closer and closer to Earth. But that actually looks like pictures that I've seen of the Nibiru system. It's my dream. It's my dreams. And also planets and stars not being where they should be in the sky. And here we have Venus high in a dark sky, which that never used to be my reality. Venus was always just above the sun as it went down, not like in a dark night sky high up. There are many things going on that I'm just doing that because I remembered the sun. I remember the yellow sun. Anyway, I was always interested in ancient civilizations, and I always kind of believed that there'd been other civilizations before and that we were not told about, we weren't told about the truth about a lot of things. So I was really interested in ancient civilizations, and I looked at the Sumerians and the Anunnaki, and I very much studied the Mayans. I even learned about sunspot activity because, everything was geared with them. Everything was geared to the sun cycle, and it ended in 2012. Now, at that point in time, I thought it was about the magnetic poles of the sun, when all the magnetic poles of the sun all met with each other, and sunspot activity, that it would cause some kind of a coronal mass ejection is what I thought. And I think quite a lot of people thought it was the end of the world because of this. But because of the Mandela Effect, it's actually given us extra information. And actually, now, with the extra information from the Mandela Effect, they prophesied, or they were waiting for, looking for the signs in the sky for the time that would come when it was the end of that sun and the beginning of the new sun. Now, we know we've got a new sun. It's a white one. It's a white sun. So they had astronomy. They've been talked of as if they're some kind of primitive people, but they had astronomical knowledge that they could never have possessed just from that civilization springing up there. That's thousands of years worth of knowledge of astronomy right there. So they were waiting for the signs in the sky. they also are very connected to the Hopi Indians. They actually had dealings with the Hopi Indians, and the Hopi Indian prophecy is the one that really sums up what we're going through more than anything. It talks about the reality changes, and then hang about, I'm getting ahead of myself. So while I'm looking at, obviously as I've said before, when I was given, every time I prayed, I've been given information, and every time I prayed, I was given more information about the Hopi prophecy. But in the meantime, I'd learned that much about Christianity and how it's been messed with, how the only actual celebration that we actually have at the right time is Easter. The rest of it was just plonked on top of pagan traditions, and I learned too much about the man-made aspect of Christianity. So I couldn't connect to it anymore. I could not connect to it. Even though, while I was praying, I kept getting all of these quite clear signs now. I wasn't seeing them as signs at the time. I was just accepting it, like, wow. But the Hopi prophecy talks about everything. You see, everything comes together because I'd learned about the Sumerians. And then the Sumerians and the Anunnaki was actually taken to Babylonia. And then from there, Judaism. And then we know the path that it took from there on in. And I knew all this, and I could see it all connecting from Sumerian times. I could see it all connecting, but I still wasn't getting it. I still wasn't getting it. And throughout the Mandela Effect, praying, I actually prayed and was shown the Mandela Effect. So every single time I've prayed, I have been shown evidence that Jesus is real, for a start, because the Hopi prophecy actually talks about, the Antichrist, it talks about Jesus. And then on the very last video that I watched after praying about it, the Hopi Indians also they explain that on their prophecy stone, that God gave the Jews the stone tablet, and that everything is connected, everything. And I accepted it, but I still had no personal connection to Jesus, so my head was still all over the place. I was accepting this. Yes, yes, Jesus is coming back. I know Jesus is coming back. But I wasn't feeling it as a Christian. I wasn't feeling Jesus at all. But he has been trying to tell me the message, and believe me, I'm so much calmer. This week I have been so at peace this week, it's been untrue. Because all the way through, Jesus has been trying to show me. And for those of you that talk about being saved, don't get me wrong, I am not knocking what you believe. But the Hopi prophecy, they're not Christians. They're not Christians in the sense that we're Christians, but they have the prophecy. They know what happened last time. They have the prophecy. They know, they have it on there. There it is, carved in stone. God giving Moses the tablet. Jesus coming to take us away. I believe that the Hopi are going to be along with the people that Jesus takes away. And quite frankly, I don't particularly think I'm one of them. It troubles me that people that are saved think that they really are saved and that they're not going to be judged in any way, shape or form. We're all going to be judged, and some of us are going to be found not worthy. And personally, I find myself not worthy. But the fact that Jesus himself is in the Hopi prophecy of thousands of years, that everything that we know in Christianity, in Judaism, Christianity and Islam, is the same as the Hopi prophecy. So I do believe now, I do believe it's supernatural. This is why I believe it's supernatural. Because obviously the Mayans and the Hopi amongst others, have been through this before, and they have been waiting for the next time it happens, for the next and forever world. In all of these, in all of these ancient civilizations, it's always the fifth world that's coming. And we know that we're transitioning into the fifth world right now. So we're at the point on the Hopi prophecy rock where two lines are converging, and you get the chance to change and go along, and Jesus will take you to the fifth world. Now, I don't know whether we're on the convergent line or what, but what I do know is that no matter how much man has messed about with Christianity, no matter what you call him, because he recurs over and over again throughout ancient history, just with different names. Just with different names. But it's real. That's what it's taught me. It's real. It comes from a real fact. A real fact. At one point I was thinking it was all mixed up and made up because of that. But when I prayed to Jesus and I asked him to send me a definitive sign, and the day after I was sent the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, after seeing all of this about the Hopi, I mean, he was showing me. He even showed me, here I am on the stone tablet. And I was still not connecting. And I was troubled. It's a supernatural situation, I really believe it. And we've been through it before, 4 times before. This time, the time that we're going through right now, this is the forever time, the forever world, the fifth and forever world. Or as the Mayans were waiting for, their new sun. The fifth world and the new sun. Well, that's what we've got, isn't it? That's what we've got, the new sun already. And we're trundling through an ever-changing world. So yes, the Mandela Effect, I believe, is supernatural. I believe it's happened before. I believe God is in charge of it all anyway. Our Creator is in charge of it all. Thank God. Thank you, God. That I trust. And that Jesus is real, whatever you call him, through whatever he's been called throughout time. It's the same thing. Whatever God you worship is the same God. I hope you say that in the most beautiful way. But that's why I believe that the Mandela Effect is supernatural. Not man-made, not D-wave, but certainly end times, without a doubt. And I think we've got some fighting to do, people. I don't think we're all going to be spirited away, because why are we going through this? This is reality changing. Why would we be going through this if if Jesus is going to come and we're just all going to disappear? Whatever happens to me, I know that who we know as Jesus, and people have known as different names throughout time, he's leading us. He's leading. He's coming back, and there's a better place coming. Whether I survive it or not, I know that he wins in the end. So that's why I believe that the Mandela Effect is a supernatural end times situation. Thank you very much for listening to me, as always, lovely people. You know I'm nothing without you. I'm absolutely lost without you guys. You keep me sane. I am beyond grateful for that. My love to you all till next time.